Well, good morning, everybody. Robert Phoenix, broadcast to you live once again from Fredericksburg, Texas. How is everyone today? What's happening? What's going on out there, in there, all that? So, of course, 24 hours have gone by, and we've got more news to kind of go through, sort through, sift through. And of course, you get your daily dose of consciousness, a little bit of astrology, some humor. It's all right here. It is part of the Power Coffee Hour, the Coffee Power Hour. And I'm all out. I'm all out. Is that a flannel shirt? This is definitely a flannel shirt. I'm getting my flannel on. It's getting to be flannel season out here in Fredericksburg. Oh, look who's here. Look who's here. Say hi. Say hi, everybody. Hi, Ani. What's happening? Of course, she'll be here. And as long as she just stays out of the way, she's fine. Yeah, Jasper may come in. We'll see. We'll see what happens a little bit later. You know, sometimes he shows up. So how is everybody? We got some stuff to go over today, some things to go through. There was a shooting late last night in California, Thousand Oaks, California, near Malibu, not far from Malibu. Yes, flannel weather in Western Texas. It is definitely flannel time. It's definitely flannel time. Rosie has natural flannel, although it's not quite flannel. It's a brindle. It's a brindle thing, right, Rosie? The details of the shooting, very strange. It's a very strange event. Apparently 13, the unlucky, not so magical number of 13, part of the mix with the shooting. And, you know, it was a club. This is where the language gets interesting, like Twilight language, high strange sync language, stuff like that. Here it's all over the networks. Yeah, so let me get into this here. The name of the club, if I'm not mistaken, is called Borderlands. Let's just do this real fast here. I'm going to be skipping around a little bit today. So it's 12. Went from 13 to 12. Which is, and you know, 12 is an interesting number too. 12 disciples, 12 signs, 12 months. You get the story there. So let me just go back into the story. This is a very unusual story, and I'm going to just jump into CNN here very, very quickly. So a gunman burst into a packed bar in Southern California and opened fire on people line dancing. Line dancing. So you know what that means? That means that this was a country and western bar. There's all kinds of high strange here. First of all, the name of the bar is the Borderline Bar and Grill. Excuse me for a second. The Borderline Bar and Grill. I mean, come on now. So the Borderline Bar and Grill, it's a country western line dancing bar, Ventura County, Thousand Oaks. You know, what have we been dealing with? We've been dealing with the border issues, this whole idea of racism. I mean, who knows what's going on here? Okay. So the number is 12. It says at least 12. Now the gunman did not have any ID at all. Okay, so the gunman opened fire around 11:20 p.m. The suspect, who has not been identified, was found dead inside the bar. Dean said it's unclear whether he took his own life. The motive of the attack also is not clear. It's a horrific scene in there. What we know about the shooting, I started hearing big pops. Taylor Van Molt, 21, was line dancing. So in a lot of ways, this is very similar to what happened in Las Vegas. And we're about a year out now from Las Vegas. Can you believe that the whole Las Vegas event was just a little over a year ago? started in October. And here we are. It's in first part of November. The clientele, if we can call it clientele, the people at the event in Las Vegas, well, they were mostly country and Western fans. In fact, they were country and Western concert. And I would assume, although it's never safe to assume because we don't want to put people in buckets or boxes, but I assume many of them fit into a certain demographic, meaning they were white, conservative, probably Christian. And these are people who probably would be gun owners, yes, or they would, at the very least, support owning guns. Now, I'm not going to go down the Vegas rabbit hole. It's too big. It's too deep. We could spend the next 3 hours doing it. Whether or not it was a turf war between bin Salman and his brother, that's a whole other discussion here. But the net effect was that guns theoretically were being pointed down and at people who were attending a concert. Now, I know people who are nurses or nurse in Las Vegas, and something happened to people. There are people that got shot up, something went down. Now, there could be a number of different scenarios that could have been created in Las Vegas. One of which was the flashing light coming from the window that may or may not have been broken out or shot through. Then actually have shooters on the ground. I mean, I think that's a possibility. Stephen Patsy Paddock, his brother Eric. I mean, where are these guys now? You know, I'd love to sit down with Stephen Paddock's brother. That'd be an interesting conversation. Anyway, we know kind of what the net effect was during that concert. It was a country and Western concert, correct? Okay. It was a Jason Aldean who was on stage. He had the strange tattoo on his arm that matched the Illuminati card for Las Vegas. Isn't that wild? Totally wild. So here we go again. It's another country and Western bar. And somebody went in there and theoretically shot it up. I don't have a lot of information here. These people seem genuinely freaked out. It would not surprise me at all if this was a quote unquote real event. I think that now we're looking at events that are staged, mixed, combined, real, and now reality. And this whole psychological operative theater is going to get very, very slippery. But again, the net effect here is they want to get conservatives to give up their guns. They want conservatives on the side of gun control, gun safety, however we want to sort of frame this. So this has happened. I don't have any more information other than the fact that it was at a bar called the Borderline? The Borderline Bar and Grill. It's crazy, right? We're dealing with borders, all kinds of interesting parallels. 12 people, including a sheriff, got killed overnight at this bar. You know, what can I say? I mean, are we dealing with a guy that was a sleeper? You know, these things happen. People are programmed. We all know this to be a fact. Are we dealing with a sleeper? Are we dealing with some kind of agency? Who knows? But yet it's another hit. It's another hit to the system. Oh, look who's here. There he is. There's the man. Can you say hi to people? I'm having a convention, man. It's a bit much here. Can you say hi to the people? Say hi to your fan club out there. Yeah. Anyway, so we've got this going on. The first thing I saw, I woke up really early this morning. I was watching a football show on TV. And the first thing they busted into was this event that happened kind of lateish last night in California. And here we go once again. Just more grist for the mill. and more trying to stay kind of afloat and alive and awake and aware as we go through yet another scenario that is impacting the collective conscious and the body, right? The national body, as it were. Witness, I heard 18 to 20 rounds at a time. Wow. 18 to 20 rounds at a time. How does somebody shoot 18 to 20 rounds at a time? I'd venture to say that in the panic and the confusion, if this was a legit scenario, it certainly feels that way. I mean, people are totally freaked out about it. That there could have been more than one person involved. If that's the case, where there's 18 to 20 rounds, that could have happened. It could easily have happened. There was something else that I wanted to. Oh, right. Well, what's the net effect? I think the net effect is really going to be having metal detectors outside of all public establishments. That is coming. Okay. That is coming. And the next level after that is going to be the biometric scan to see if you have a record. Next level after that is going to be basically kind of a soft brain scan. They've already got the software, the technology for that, where they can essentially decode whether or not you're dangerous or you're a threat. I mean, that's where ultimately this is going. You know, mind crime. Oh, wow, this person is capable of doing something that could be very dark and very dangerous. Don't let them travel. Don't let them in. Look, I can see the linear progression. First, it'll be metal detectors. Those are coming. The metal detectors will be instituted. They will be instituted, and I'll tell you why they'll be instituted. Because if there's another event at a nightclub or a bar, then in order to get insurance, bars and nightclubs will have to sign up for metal detectors at the front of their establishment. I'm telling you, this is how it's going to be done. There's a bar down the street from where I live. I don't go there. I went there one time. It's called Bucks. And the first time I went there, they wanted to see my ID. I said, well, okay, well, here I am. And then the woman took it from me. And she ran my ID on a handheld device. I'm like, why are you doing that? She says, well, we have to. We have to. Hold on a second. I'm just trying to sort through some of this material. Okay, hold on a second. I'm just looking at this witness thing. Let me play this. Hold on. I'm going to tell you about this Bucks thing. Hold on.
We need to get out of here before anything gets happened. We don't know where he's coming from. It's a semi-automatic. Yeah. I just heard 18 to 20 rounds at a time. That's all I heard before I got out. Our main concern was just take cover, hoping that all of our friends that were in there also could get out safe. I didn't see anyone else that was down that stayed down, but I mean, it was such a blur. I don't even know what to think of it still.
Okay, this is weird, all right? This is really, really weird because this woman who was talking at the end was smiling. This was, okay, I got to play this again. Hold on a second. This is really weird.
He was shooting everything from the speakers to anything, so what we really saw was just smoke, and we just saw the shots taking off, so we just tried to get down as fast as we could and get out of there. I heard the shots, and everyone kind of just got down and started freaking out, running around. I just told her to get down, get out. Let's just move. We need to get out of here before anything gets happened. We don't know where he's coming from. It's a semi-automatic. Yeah. I just heard 18 to 20 rounds at a time. That's all I heard before I got out.
It was a semi-automatic. How do you know that?
Take cover, hoping that all of our friends that were in there also could get out safe. I didn't see anyone else that was down that stayed down, but I mean, it was such a blur. I don't even know what to think of it still.
Wow. Okay, I got to run this one more time. Okay, so now they know that it was a semi-automatic. Okay, all right, I got to run it one more time. Hold on.
I mean, he was shooting everything from the speakers to
Kayla
anything. So at
Simmons
least really
is the
saw
witness's
was
name.
just smoke, and we just saw the shots taking off. So we just tried to get down as fast as we could and get out of there. I heard the shots, and everyone kind of just got down and started freaking out, running around. I just told her to get down, get out. Let's just move. We need to get out of here before anything gets happened. We don't know where he's coming from. It was a semi-automatic. Yeah.
Okay, now, okay, so this other gal that's with her is smiling. I just got to get a screen grab of this. Let me see if I can here. I'm sorry, I'm just doing this on the fly a little bit. So I'll put this over on YouTube. Of course, people say, well, people respond to tragedies differently. Okay, so I'm just gonna grab this right here, and then let me play this some more. Hold on one second.
I just heard, 18 to 20 rounds at a time. That's all I heard before I got out. Our main concern was just take cover, hoping that all of our friends that were in there also get out safe. I didn't see anyone else that was down that stayed down, but I mean, it was such a blur. I don't even know what to think of it still.
That's very strange. That was very strange. Okay, I need to get one more. I'm sorry. I need to get one more screen grab here because
It was a joke. So I pulled him down and got some.
hold on one second. Let me run this one more time. I apologize because I need to get this screen grab of this woman who's smiling at the end of it all. This is very bizarre. In fact, the other woman is kind of smiling while where have we seen this before? This is kind of disturbing. Now, that's not to say that this event didn't happen, but were these people actually look, I just have to ask questions. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's just the way it is. All right, hold on. I got to get the.
Our main concern was just take cover, hoping that all of our friends that were in there also could get out safe. I didn't see anyone else that was down that stayed down, but I mean, it was such a blur. I don't even know what to think of it still.
There it is. There it is. Okay, I got it. I got it. All right, hold on. Damn. I'm gonna start live streaming from Zoom. I'm gonna put this up. Wish I could put it right up right now. If you saw this, you would see that one of the girls, while she's talking, she's trying to cry, but she's smiling. I know we all process grief in a different kind of way, but we've seen this before. And of course, it's a semi-automatic. How does she know? How does she know it's a semi-automatic? I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just throwing it out there. Let me check with you guys in the chat room. Let's see. Witnesses said it was a handgun with a large magazine. They keep trying to get all the guns away from veterans. Smoke bomb shooter. Let's see what we have. Jeff Dean. Later identified the suspect shooter as 28-year-old Ian David Long. Long was a veteran of the United States Marine Corps, lived in Newbury Park with a handgun. Sounds a little scripty, doesn't it? Absolutely. Anyway, God, I wish I could put this image up. Maybe I'll put it up on Facebook. Anyway, at the end, we've seen this before. It's the smile of, it's just, look, I reserve judgment on everything, okay? I reserve judgment on everything. If people died, then, I'm sorry for that. Totally sorry for that. And at the same time, I've got a bit of a thick skin, and I'm not afraid to kind of, pull things apart. And I don't think a lot of you are either. So I'm reserving judgment on this event. Further notice, but we have 18 to 20 rounds. Sounds like a semi-automatic. It was a semi-automatic weapon. Like, how does this person know? How does Kayla Simmons know? Question mark. Kayla Simmons, interesting. Very interesting. Okay. There's more to talk about today. Jeff Sessions, see you later. Sayonara. Goodbye. Hey, Justice, what's happening? Justice. Speaking of Justice, Jeff Sessions, the Jeff Sessions session has come to an end. It's an interesting bit of information because number one comes right after the midterms. And number two, people who are still very vested in QAnon, like for instance, I think Jeff Sessions has been sitting on his hands for 2 years. The QAnon people believe that Jeff Sessions has been working on indictments. Good morning, Charles. Life's great. That Jeff Sessions has been working on indictments, the 64,000 unsealed indictments for the last 2 years, and now he's done. I don't know. Hello, Misty. Does anybody really know? I don't want to demean the QAnon people, but come on now. By the way, there was supposed to be a big event happening in October. What was it, October 12th or something like that, or October 21st, or what happened? I'm sure that there's some kind of new revision of the narrative that happened so that it can fit some kind of interpretation in the subjective world of QAnon. Or, okay, I'm sure something happened, but clearly it wasn't like the big event. The big event never really happens unless something that we don't really understand or know passes for that big event, in which case you're supposed to feel like an idiot because clearly you don't know enough and you're not reading the signs and the clues close enough. Whatever, but nothing happened in October. The backstory with Sessions, apparently he was doing all these indictments. This is why he didn't do anything. I don't know if that's true or not. And to assume that you do know that it's true is not really empowering. Trust the plan, trust the plan, trust the plan. Have faith in the plan, okay? All right? 2 years in, these characters are still running around. Hillary Clinton was supposed to have been arrested a year ago, right after QAnon came onto the scene. Nothing's happened. I'm sorry. Nothing's happened. Have we seen Tony Podesta? No, but maybe they're just low profile in it. And maybe something is happening, and I just don't have the wherewithal and the trust the plan kind of buy-in that allows it to happen. Maybe in an alternative universe, alternate reality. But I'm not seeing it, and I'm willing to go into certain places. Trust me, I've gone into certain places. I've suspended my belief on many occasions, but I'm still waiting. This event in Thousand Oaks, clearly it's going to be part of the gun grab scenario, and it's going to lead into, getting back to the Buck story. Thank you. So the Bucks down here, not far from my house, you cannot go there and have one of their shitty hamburgers or cocktails because unless you offer up your ID, because they've had so many incidents there that they are not able to get insurance unless they scan everybody's ID, because they have a private database that checks whether or not they're on a list at Bucks, apparently. So I'm just giving you an example as to what happens with a business who will be denied insurance and the measures that they must take in order to be insured. And this is coming. I'm telling you right now, this is coming. This is coming to public places, that have a private relationship. So we're not talking about governmental places. They already have the scanners there. I'm talking about things like shopping malls, sporting events. They already have the scanners at the sporting events. They've already, you have to go through a scanner now. Go to a baseball game or a football game, boom, there it is, right? Concerts, scanners are already there. So the next places are going to be things like shopping malls, nightclubs. I would not be surprised if churches wind up having. I mean, it's a huge business. It's a huge, huge business. If you want to make a killing off the stock market, invest in Rapiscan or one of these scanning companies. You know, isn't that the way the market works? If you want to make money off of something, you've got to invest in Vice or Sin, or it's like, yeah, we'll reward you. You know, here's where you get your reward. For years, Monsanto was an amazing stock, paying dividends every quarter. You know, but what's the price to pay for that? Anyway, let's see. We have hope your porn. Hope porn keeps your followers believing. Oh, that's talking about QAnon. Yeah. Craig Hewlett states that the real hidden agenda is marching on. I don't know who Craig Hewlett is, and I don't know what the real hidden agenda is. Let's see. Jupiter just entered Sag. Yeah, hallelujah. Hallelujah. I like me some Jupiter and Sagittarius. Speaking of which, Heather Eland and I did a broadcast recording on the new moon and the full moon and Jupiter and Sag, and that should be up today. Looking forward to that. You know what was really interesting about Whitaker, this guy that they hired to replace Jeff Sessions. And by the way, I saw this interview with Jeff Sessions and Tucker Carlson. And Jeff Sessions, all he did through the entire interview was this thing down around by his navel. You know how Trump does this? You know, this sign? You know, this thing, right? Down here. That's what he did the whole time. Like, are your fingers fucking glued together, man? Can you just gesticulate a little bit? I mean, what is that? Are you, signaling your allegiance to your brotherhood, your fraternity? You know, are your fingers crazy glued together? You can't move them. Anyway, interesting astrological note. Jeff Sessions is a Capricorn, and we just went into the South Node in Capricorn, and we're going to see Capricornian institutions become vulnerable. Remember, Capricorn rules the world and the marketplace in a lot of ways. When you're out in the world, you are entering into the realm of Capricorn. The nightclub is a 12th house. Bars and nightclubs, in my estimation, are 12th house experiences. So we all know about the 12th house. It is a realm of theater, supernatural theater, illusion, to some extent addictions, depending upon what you're doing in the 12th house. What do we have here? What are my thoughts on Thomas Williams and the whole trust thing? Yeah, but the inverted triangle symbolic of feminine yoni. I guess, I mean, look, I guess so. Maybe. So what is Jeff Sessions? Is he a yoni worshiper? Is that what he is? I don't think so. According to, the 101 User's Manual Guide to Freemasonic Symbols and hand signs, that's a Masonic symbol down there, right? That's what it is. Hey, Daniel. Like crossing your fingers behind your back, magics, laugh out loud. I wonder the same thing. What does Ani say? Thomas Williams. Who is Thomas Williams? Who is Thomas Williams? I need to be enlightened here. Let's see. Let me look him up. Thomas Williams. Let's check it out. Thomas Williams. Let's see who he is. Sometimes I don't know everything. I'm always learning. Thomas Williams. A lot of Thomas Williams. Who is Thomas Williams? Open your mind, Thomas. So let me check in the chat room. Who is he? Well, Mater, Matrix Mother. Randy just posted an interview with him. Oh, okay. I'll check it out. I just did a quick web search for Thomas Williams, and I don't have anything. I'll have to get up to speed with that. So much going on. Like somebody said, he talks about the reset for the banking system. if there's a reset for the banking system, don't you think that it's going to like be in favor of the bankers? I mean, think about it. Do the bankers have any kind of altruistic aim? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that's what he's talking about. I'm not informed to what his position is, but a lot of people talk about the reset. And I remember, having conversations with Regina about the reset. And I'm like, if there's any reset, it's probably going to it's going to favor the bankers. I mean, they don't want to give it's like, if you're a banker, what is, again, I'm not informed. So I don't know what his position is. But if the bankers are going to do a reset, you made a reference to Ben Fulford. So that means Ben Fulford, are you kidding me? Ben Fulford is about as reliable, he's not reliable. I'm not even sure if he's the same guy. Ben Fulford is in this kind of cast of characters that has made grand pronouncements, whether it's Ben Fulford or the NESARA crew, or the white hats that were running around back on the internet around 2010, 2011, David Wilcock. I mean, all these people make these grand pronouncements, and their credibility is just shot to shit because things don't flip. And there's always, always with David, some kind of, reason. Oh, we're going to have disclosure, a big event, major thing is happening. And I'm sure David has people telling him things. And David buys into the credibility of what these people have to say. So all of a sudden now it's like, that's going to happen. It's going to be real. My feeling about all that is like, do your research, try to figure things out to the best of your ability. But, always have a jaundiced eye or a jaundiced view, especially now. The real Ben is in an opium den, no doubt, I stopped listening to Ben years ago, more hope porn. He said the reset's not going to happen. Instead, there's some trust in its place, a trust. Okay? The ultimate political move for Trump would be to declare a year of Jubilee to release all millennials from their college debt. I would say so. We've talked about this before, and that would clearly win Trump over for sure. That would be a big deal. That would be but he'd also wind up pissing some people off that had actually paid off their debt. What's the numbers? Are you going to ingratiate yourself to 65%, and then, annoy or anger 35%? If you're a business person, you take the 65%. Judge Ginsburg broke her ribs in a fall, post on F-Book by Jenny Constantine an hour ago. There you go. I'm telling you, Ginsburg is the next to go. She will be the next to go. And maybe it'll be sometime this year. She broke 3 ribs. Could you imagine breaking 3 ribs at her age with her, frail physique? I mean, that's a freaking game changer, isn't it? It's a total game changer. At that age, you break 3 ribs. Total game changer. So we're going off track a little bit, but it's okay, though. It's okay because I talked about Sessions. And I wanted to talk about this Capricorn effect because Sessions is a Capricorn. He's I believe, Sun, Mercury, Mars in Capricorn, and Black Moon Lilith conjunct his Sun in Capricorn. So he's got 3 planets in Capricorn. I think his Mars is at about 15 degrees. And so the South Node just went into Capricorn. And what do we see? Immediately, we saw a Capricornian figure, a real Capricornian figure, both literal and figurative, exit stage left. See you later. See you later, El Jefe. So we're already getting some feedback from the nodal shift. And this guy Whitaker, who's replaced him, he's seems like a very serious character. He's a Scorpio, and he was born on October 29th, which makes him a 5-degree Scorpio. Well, when it was announced that he would be the next or the stand-in for Sessions, the new moon was at 5 degrees Scorpio. So in that moment, with the new moon at 5 degrees Scorpio, Mr. Whitaker was named to be the acting attorney general, whose sun sign is 5 degrees Scorpio. Don't you love astrology? Isn't it amazing? Was there a terror event in California? Yeah, we talked about it. There was a shooting at the borderline, the borderline. Can you imagine this? The borderline. Whitaker is Sessions' chief of staff. Okay. Well, now he's no longer the chief of staff. He's the acting attorney general, and he's a Scorpio. And he was named acting attorney general when the moon went into the new moon went into Scorpio, conjunct his sun, by the way. I find William dubious. I just wanted your take on him. Okay. Again, my uneducated, uninformed take. You know, anything about resets, I think we have to look at them very critically, because it's always going to end up in the banker's favor. They're not altruistic. You know, it would really take, like, you know, kind of a Medjugorje moment for these guys to like flip their switches. Go, oh wow, I've been doing the wrong thing all these years. You know, it's like let's sort it all out. You know, let's just give everybody a break now. But I do think for the world to be successful, that the world debt needs to be zeroed out. I think all these countries that have been burdened by debt, that just needs to be zeroed out, because it's just usury. I'm sorry, it's usury. Got to see this. Justice Moody has something in there. Got to see something. What else? What else we want to talk? What I want to talk about today? Okay, we got Sessions leaving, Whitaker coming onto the scene. Little QAnon sort of back chatter. What else? Anything else? Oh, the event overnight in Thousand Oaks. I'm gonna put some of the screenshots up on Facebook. And I guess the only other thing I wanted to talk about today is I saw this story, and it was a group of people in Hollywood that raised $60 million, like actors, Schwarzenegger, Gerard Butler, David Foster, who's a music producer, Ashton Kutcher, who is a Freemason. He's a practicing Freemason. Tucker Carlson megaphones. Yeah, they're going after Tucker. They raised $60 million for the IDF, the Israeli Defense Federation, right? The Israeli Defense Forces. They raised $60 million for the IDF. Hollywood raised $60 million for the IDF. I'm just scratching my head. It's like, wouldn't it be nice if they'd raised $60 million for the troops, the people who have gone over to the Middle East and basically fought the bankers' wars? Wouldn't it be great if they'd raised $60 million for them? What if they raised $60 million to deal with the homeless problem in Los Angeles, many of which are troops and veterans who have been really not very well treated at all, left behind as human refuse? Wouldn't it be great if they'd raised $60 million for them? I guarantee you it wouldn't have made the headlines. And not only that, but it doesn't carry the same kind of political clout or carry the same kind of political favors. And that much is true. And apparently billions and billions of dollars a year going to Israel is not enough. That Hollywood feels like it has to be able to support the Israeli army, you know, who apparently, you know, have to stitch their uniforms at home. So I just wanted that just blew my mind. The only reason those people are really doing that, to be honest with you, is to curry favor and to be on the winning side. And this is what I wanted to kind of get to tonight. Yeah, border bar, caravan at the border. Exactly. We talked about this. That's part of the twilight language. That's part of the kind of the synchro mystic language around the borderland or borderline. Well, do public proclamation individuals when reflect the position of the moon? Can. Absolutely. I mean, this thing with Whitaker was interesting. Like, I mean, talk about a sync. It was a new moon in Scorpio, 5 degrees, exactly conjunct the guy's sun. I mean, come on. It's a pretty interesting moment. So I wanted to talk about Whitaker tweets, Twitter, Matt Whitaker 46. There we go. 60 million for the Jasper Foundation. Yes, absolutely. 60 million for the Jasper Foundation. Oh, the Israeli Film Festival, November 7th through 20th. That's right. Jennifer, you're there. So here's what I wanted to talk about. Okay. I was watching an interview last night, very briefly, on Lift the Veil with Nathan and this kid, Isaac Green, also known as Anti-School. And it was an interesting interview for a while because, of course, Isaac Green is a real MAGA head and sporting his MAGA colors, and Nathan was asking him about how he felt about Israel and how he felt about the Palestinians, and Isaac Green just basically threw down with everything. He says, well, I was raised as a Baptist, and so he's a Christian Zionist. But at the same time, I got the sense that it wasn't really like a major sort of plank in his ideology. It sort of represented a number of different planks. And what I got was that he was somebody who wanted to be a part of a winning team. And there's a name for people like that. They're called front runners. Front runners. If you go into like the hood, there's other names. Phony jive ass motherfuckers. That's one name. Okay. There's also other names like Rudy Toots. That's another. The Rudy Toot is a front runner. And I think it's very easy to have that kind of like ideology. Again, so let's say you're in a neighborhood and your neighborhood has gangs, and one gang is really powerful and another gang maybe not so powerful. If you are in a gang world, wouldn't you side with the most important gang or the most powerful gang? Would it make you a front runner at that point, or just somebody who is smart theoretically and wants to survive and attach themselves to not just a symbol of power, but an actual agency of power? And I feel like that's what happens with people, that they look around and they say, who's got the juice? Who's got the economic juice? Who's got the military juice? Who's got the media juice? And they look around and they say, I'm going to attach myself to that because, number one, that's where the power is. And number two, if the power is successful in achieving its goals, well, I might just have a seat at the table. And so when I saw that last night, and then I saw this other piece with raising $60 million for the IDF, it felt very similar, like the same thing. Like, we're going to throw down because this is where the power is. And we want to be aligned with the power. And so, again, it's very difficult to be independent, because to be independent means that you are somebody who is not necessarily attached to any group or attached to a certain ideology or attached to something that theoretically could bring you a lot of power. Like, for instance, when Obama got elected, it would have been real super easy. Oh man, I'm so down with Obama, right? It's all good. It's all good. It's great. Boom. And what you got when that first 2 years of Obama was a Russia being on the right side, the Russia being on the right side of history, all these things. So you just kind of move over there. And then, at some point, and we've seen this before, we've seen people that were into Obama basically move over to the right, like the guy that ran the debacle in Charlottesville. The guy was an Obama supporter, and then he comes over to the other side, and becomes a Trump supporter. Is because he's an agent provocateur, and he does these little things, or is it because really what he did is he sensed that there was a shift in the tide of power? This is how the neocons were created, by the way. The neocons used to be neoliberals, but what happened is they saw where the United States was going. They saw the rise of Reagan, and then after that, Bush, and the neocons assembled during that time. It became very, very powerful inside the Reagan administration. That's where they got their toehold, and they've been an ever expanding and a group that's gained more and more power ever since. It really, I don't think it had anything to do with values. It had to do with the fact that this is where the juice was. And this is what happens with people. They just go where the juice is. But I'm telling you right now, sometimes that juice is poison. And people have to understand this. And it takes a lot of courage to not say, I'm going to be a part of this group, or I'm not going to plug into this power circuit. Because where are you going to get your power from? Where is it coming from? It comes from a different source. You have to tap into a different source. And it's not as easy to tap into in some ways. I was thinking about this too with Alexandra Ocasio, young woman, right? And she just got elected, and she's going to run her social democratic, platform. And I thought to myself, there's power there. She's plugged into a power circuit. And not only that, but she has a ton of support. A ton of support. Could you imagine, like, the people that are around her and the people that are supporting her, giving her talking points, giving her money, doing all the things that she needs to be a successful candidate, all the support she's getting? Could you imagine what it'd be like to have that in your own life? To have that kind of support? Whether it's financial, whether it's through some kind of talking, whatever. I mean, it would be phenomenal to have that kind of support. Are you kidding me? I guess what I'm talking about here is the dynamics of power and how power works and why people trend towards powerful groups or powerful organizations. And they trend towards them because there's something in it. It's about, number one, being associated with a winner, and number two, being associated with the financial perks and even the social perks that are part of that process. The perfect example of this is the movie They Live with Roddy Piper and Keith David. Fantastic movie, one of my favorite movies of all time. And that's one of the premises of the film. You align with these aliens, and boy, they'll make your life real easy. The only thing you have to do is sell out your fellow humans. So just be on your toes. Be on your toes, right? Head on a swivel. And I think the most courageous thing that any of us can do is to not define ourselves by the groups or the powerful entities that somehow give us the juice in sort of a step down and circuitous fashion. I think the most powerful thing that we can do is to understand who we are and tap into that. That's where the real power is. That's where it's at. That is tapping the void. And I'm not talking the void of the soul. No, I'm talking about this quantum place inside of ourselves. And that, to me, is where that's where it exists. That's where it hangs out. And each and every one of you has the ability to get in there and do that. And you can be really powerful on your own. You don't have to align yourself with any entity or anybody that is ultimately going to ask more of you as a result of an alliance that it seemed to be casual or friendly. Trust me, there's always some price to pay somewhere down the line. Okay, what do we got here? Victor. Okay, there we go. We got your own power. What is Victor saying? Let me do a little translation with Victor, shall we? Let's do that. Here we go. Translate Spanish to English. Victor must have seen yesterday's show. Don't you think? I think so. If not, Victor, you should check it out because this is timely. Translating. I do not go to the Red Bull and you lose it again. I leave you the house alone and you go to bed at 10. No. I do not go to the Red Bull and you lose it again. I leave you to the house alone and you go to bed at 10. I do not go. No, I actually go to bed at 1. But last night I did go to bed at 10:30. I did go to bed at 10:30. Anything else, Victor, that you want to share with us? Robert, it's called the kingdom. Absolutely, Charles. It is the kingdom of God. Absolutely. I agree. Made no sense what he is saying. It's okay. It's all right. Thanks, Victor, for showing up and sharing your cryptic message. I do not go to the Red Bull again. I think Victor is a Russian bot. I think Victor showed up yesterday and was talking about wiper blades. That's what I think. Joe Mama, know thyself, stay true, keep shining. That's a good one. That's a good, look, we just need to be aware, right? We need to be aware. It's hard to be outside of a group. It is hard to be outside of a structure that theoretically vests you with some kind of power, either directly or indirectly. It's difficult because you can feel alone, But I'll tell you what else, it's a lot more free out there when you do that. Beware of tribalism. Yeah. Oh, now here we go. Oh, we've got another translation. Oh, here we go. What's this one? This looks like it could be Russian. Now, what do we have now? Let's see. Here we go. Let's do this. Translate Russian to English. Let's see what we have with that one. Russian to English. Here we go. Here we go. Let's find out what this says. We're playing fun game. Mustache is a passage in panties. Mustache is a passage in panties. Oh, thank you. Thank you for that. Oh, interesting. Let's do this. I don't know if I can post on the chat. Or try this. You never know. Might work. I've been able to post here. Let me just try this. Let's find this. Here we go. Oh, I can. Look at that. See, we can all play this game. Here we go. I just got in on the act. Isn't it creative? You know what that says? That's Swahili, by the way. Maybe you guys can play along at home too, right? That's Swahili. I'll give you the translation. Here's the translation. You are an erector set with screws loose. There we go. How about that? That's what it means. Is this Jupiter and Sagittarius? Could be. We're getting out there. We're dealing with people from other countries, other cultures, right? Yeah. You're an erector set with screws loose. That's for you in Swahili. Okay. I'm out of here. Have a great day. Stay free, right? Jupiter and Sagittarius. Here we go. We got more. Right? We got more. Begichi Megritav, thank you for showing up. And I'll be back tomorrow. Be sure to bring more of your cryptic and encoded texts so we can decode them and have more fun here on 15 Minutes of Flame. Until then, use your head to discern what's real, your heart to say what's possible, and keep Google Translator handy and by your side. Have a great day, everybody. Ciao.